Hey everybody, this is Paul the Comic Book Misfit coming at you with the first episode of hopefully a long run of videos. We're going to be talking about comic books, movies, music, wrestling, anything that interests me and hopefully interests you guys as well. This week, first issue of Infamous Iron Man came out. Gotta say it was pretty interesting. Made by the creative team of Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev. Guys have a great history together. Alex Maleev's art is really on point, very kind of subdued, dark. If you're familiar with Alex Maleev's work, his Detective Comics work, Daredevil, which he did with Bendis, it's outstanding. The guy sets an amazing scene. He can do really great storytelling. It's not flashy. It doesn't look like Jim Lee, which is, I think, what sets him apart. Is probably one of the premier artists, especially with darker tone stories. Bendis doesn't really need an introduction if you're a fan of comic books. If you're not, Brian Michael Bendis is probably on par with, I would say, the top comic writers. I would compare him to Michael Jordan. He'd probably be the Michael Jordan of comic books. So, Infamous Iron Man. This is one of the new issues coming out. Marvel's doing another series of reboots. I kind of became disillusioned with Marvel and DC, having gone through New 52, Marvel now it's Rebirth, then all new Marvel or whatever, enough with the reboots. That said, issue number 1, Infamous Iron Man, it's a different take. Doctor Doom is now taking over the mantle of Iron Man. Tony Stark is no longer in existence. Another villain is taking over a hero's role. We saw this in Superior Spider-Man, where Dr. Octopus took over Peter Parker's body. Doctor Doom is now doing the same with Iron Man. I'm going to give it a benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give it at least about 6 to 7 issues. Bendis is a slow starter with his stories. Alex Maleev's art works really well. You really kind of get a dark feel for Doctor Doom. Opening scene where he is with some of the other villains, called the Cabal. And Doom immediately sets the tone. Not going to do any spoilers. I don't have the actual physical issue. I did do the digital copy. It was more convenient at the time. I probably will start doing physical issues again. But I want to say Doctor Doom, probably one of the more powerful Marvel villains. I want to see where he's going to go. Why is Doctor Doom going to become the new Iron Man? Why is Doctor Doom probably the most seminal Fantastic Four villain going to take over for Tony Stark? What effects is it going to have for the Marvel Universe? Is this a bigger ploy for him to try to take over the world again? We're going to find out. We're just going to have to play it by ear. Again, first issue, just give it a shot. It's first step towards a longer story arc. Brian Michael Bendis is known for doing long story arcs. That's why he's been the man for Marvel's big summer events. We'll have to see. Also, sad news this week from the comic book world. Artist Steve Dillon passed away. If you're not familiar with Steve Dillon, he was the artist for Preacher and Punisher. I believe it was Punisher Max. He was part of the Welcome Back Frank storyline, which we saw in the Thomas Jane movie. Gonna sound a little insensitive, but I was never really a fan of his work. His facial illustrations always looked the same. Whether it was Frank Castle from The Punisher, Jesse Custer from Preacher, Tulip from Preacher, every person looked the same. That said, I respect the man's work in that he was prominent. He did work on some of the top titles and some of the top companies. I know he did a lot of stuff with Marvel, with Punisher, Wolverine, Deadpool. He did the Thunderbolts. I'm sorry to say that he's gone. Again, I wasn't much of a fan of his, but I do respect the fact that he went out there, he made his mark, and he made, with Garth Ennis, probably one of the most controversial and popular comic stories of all time, Preacher, which is now an AMC TV show. So give him a look. Look up at least probably the first volume of his work with Garth Ennis, Welcome Back Frank, Gone to Texas with again Garth Ennis on Preacher. See for yourself. I may be wrong. It's just my preference. But again, sorry to hear about his loss. Condolences to his family. The comic book world is always, shocked and saddened to hear about one of its creators leaving us. So, yeah, we're gonna miss you, Steve. I'm gonna miss griping about your work. But thank you for your contributions, and I hope to see you guys soon. Leave a like, subscribe, leave some comments. What do you guys want to read? What do you guys want me to read? What do you guys want me to review? Is there something you guys want me to watch? I want to make this for not just myself, but for everybody in the community. It's more about what can we do for each other. What can we do to bring a closer sense of community within this comic book world, or in wrestling, or movies, or video games, or all of it. So, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys enjoyed looking at this ugly mug, because we're probably going to see it again. So, thank you. Godspeed.